Hey guys, it's Jessica the Book Art Goddess here, and it is day 7 of the Booktubeathon. Can you guys believe it? It is over today at the stroke of midnight. It is done. And it has been a whirlwind week. I mean, it's been up, down. I mean, there was one day I hardly did any reading, and then there was a day that I did a ton of reading. It was just like, whew. But I mean, it's been a busy week. I mean, but that's the story of my life, and I'm sure everybody else has the same thing going on. It's just been crazy, but I was able to read 5 books. I am currently almost done with my 6th book, and if I can get my graphic novel in, I will have completed all the challenges for all 7 days, and I will have my 7 books in. So cross your fingers, guys. Wish me luck, and hopefully I get it. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the challenge for Booktubeathon today, and the lovely Arab Wasset, who is our gracious host, is put this challenge together. And I think it's absolutely adorable and definitely fitting for the day, and that is to tell a story about a moment or about reading or your favorite book and why is it your favorite book. And she says it much more eloquently than I do, so check out her video. But basically, I'm going to tell you the story about a book that I love since I was really little. And I have a ton of books, and I have a ton of great book moments. But this book in particular was one of my absolute favorites. And to this day, I love this book. I actually had to go and find an out-of-print copy because it's no longer sold, it's no longer made. And I kept looking around for it, years and years ago when Jade was little. I had to find this book because I wanted to give it to her because it meant so much to me. I wanted to be able to give it to her, so I searched and I found a bookstore, and it was when they had Walden Books, which I don't even think is around anymore. And the lady said, they had one in the warehouse, and she said she could have it shipped to the store and I could pick it up. So I was so excited, so I immediately ordered it and I had it shipped to the store so I could pick it up. I was so happy. But, and I remember giving it to her, and she was just so happy about it, and I would read it to her, and, I mean, I read it to her so much when she was little. It's got a couple of little, marks in the cover, but other than that, it's held up pretty good. She took pretty good care of it when she was little. I mean, it does got a few little dents of love, but, what can you do? But it's called The Best Loved Doll by Rebecca Caudell, and I think it was published in 1962. But when I was little, I went to the library, and, when you're little, I was like 1st, 2nd grade maybe, and I went into the library, and it's this huge place. Now if I went into it, it'd probably be like this big, school library, especially an elementary school library. But I remember looking around and picking up books and putting them down, and I found this book, and tucked away in a back corner, and I just picked it up and fell in love with it. I fell in love with the illustrations. I fell in love with the story, and it's very moving to me even now as an adult. I still love this story. I think it's a beautiful story. It's about a little girl who loved her doll so much, and she gets a little prize. Said The Best Loved Doll, that's the title, but it's such a moving story, and I had to have it for Jade. And and the funny thing was, when I would check it out so much, my grandmother would actually come and say, "Honey, why are you checking that book out again?" And I said, "I just love it, Grandma. I just love it, Grandma." So one day I sat down and I was reading it, and she said, "Well, honey, read that to me." And so I read it to her, and then almost every time I checked it out, she would have me sit down next to her and read it to her. And at the time, she was helping me practice reading, but it was also a bonding moment, and she loved the book too. She would be like, "You should go get that book and read it." And she goes, "I haven't heard that story in a while." And I probably checked it out at least twice a month. Who knows? I love the book so much. Because I think when we were little, we would go to the library every week, and I would turn it in, and I'd have to wait for the librarian to reshelve it. So just about every other week I was getting it. But it was so funny. My grandmother said, "Honey, come sit down." And I still remember that to this day. And when I was younger, I could almost recite you it word for word, this book. And it's pretty, for a little kid. It's got some, bigger words in it, and It was, you know, not your see Sam run books or anything like that, but I would read it word for word. And my grandmother was incredibly impressed with me as a child and my love of reading, but I got it from her. I mean, she loved to read, and she just instilled that in me. And this will always be the book that I remember reading to her and reading with her, and her telling me to sit down. I mean, it's just a beautiful book, a beautiful moment that I had with her that I'll never ever have again because she passed away years ago. But it's just, and for me to be able to give it to Jade, and then she can give it to her daughter, and then they'll be able to enjoy it when someday, well, maybe my grandchild or whatever will be able to tell me this, read it to me, and I can say, come sit here and read me the story. So, but anyways, guys, that is one of my fondest memories of when I was a kid. I mean, probably one of my first major reading memories. I hope to see your guys' videos, and I'm sorry the Booktubeathon's over. I'm so sad, but I have had a blast, and I hope you guys had a blast, and I will see you soon. Bye.